It is our lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making.
And so women.
Absolutely. And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work.
No, you have not stumbled onto the Camel Toe Harris show. This is still the Anti-Woke Warrior show. But we have this statement here from Kamala Harris, who thinks that she knows better than the rest of us. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. You can find me on Rumble and on Twitter. Please follow me over on those. Sometimes I tweet interesting things. Let's get into this video here. So during a recent speech, Vice President Kamala Harris claimed that hurricane relief should be given out on the basis of equity, whereby communities of color would receive priority aid, which you just heard her say that. Let's get through the rest of this here. Vice President's words were swiftly condemned on Twitter as racist and confusing to hurricane survivors. We'll take a look at some tweets here. Her statements are, of course, racist. In this country, we're all supposed to be treated equally. You have the opportunity to do what you want to do with your life. If you are born into a poor family, you're going to be poor, no matter what the color of your skin. If you're born into a rich family, you're going to be rich, no matter what the color of your skin. But what she says is we should be doing this. We should be giving out this relief based on your racial background, which is just absurd because there are plenty of rich black people, rich Hispanic people, George Lopez, Kanye West, Beyonce, Jessica Alba. There's plenty of people out there who are well off and not white. All right, so this is part of a larger article. Let's go ahead and take a look at that if we can here. Camel Toe Harris ripped for claiming government's Hurricane Ian relief will prioritize communities of color. DeSantis Rapid Response Director Christina Pashaw claimed Harris' statements were false and causing undue panic among Floridians. Yeah, this is false. FEMA doesn't work that way. This is just a recap, I believe, based on equity. But it's always about the lowest income people being people of color. We know that's just patently false. Critics on Twitter were outraged by her claims, with many accusing her of being racist towards victims of Hurricane Ian in Florida. Some even claimed she was confusing and scaring storm survivors, worried they might not get help quickly because they weren't living in low-income communities. Yeah, we have Ryan Fournier here. You can't make this up. Kamala Harris said the administration will be giving hurricane resources based on equity by directing funds to communities of color. I guess everyone else is just screwed. Yeah, Elon Musk tweeted, should be according to greatest need, not race or anything else. Yeah, should be according to greatest need. This Ryan Fournier person is a Students of Trump founder. I don't know what Students of Trump is. Are students for Trump? I assume it's college students who are for Trump. Christina Pashaw, this is her tweet. She's the DeSantis's Rapid Response Director. She says, this is false. VP's rhetoric is causing undue panic and must be clarified. FEMA individual assistance is already available to all Floridians impacted by Hurricane Ian, regardless of race or background. If you need assistance, visit disasterassistance.gov or call the 800 number. And End Wokeness, good name, by the way, says, he tweeted this out, Kamala on Hurricane Ian relief. The Biden administration will focus on giving resources based on equity by directing funds to communities of color. Journalist Ian Miles Chong said, just say it. Poor white people are screwed. And Camel Toe Harris is gloating about it the same way she gloated about sending thousands of black men to prison over drug-related misdemeanors. Of course she would. Why wouldn't she gloat about whatever she does? She thinks she's infallible. That's why she doesn't need to go to the border. She already knows how to handle illegal immigration. Ian Miles Chong, in another tweet, he slammed the media for ignoring Harris' claims. If journalists were any good at doing their jobs, they'd be hammering Camel Toe Harris on the remarks she made today about how white families affected by Hurricane Ian won't be getting any federal funds because the money will be diverted to communities of color before all else. Yeah. There's a picture of some of the destruction of Ian. It's crazy. I know a person who lives in Florida, so that's terrible. situation. Conservative YouTubers, the Hodge twins, tweeted, "She would be worse than Biden if that's possible." Journalist Kyle Becker asked, "Can we just agree this is a tipping point where the equity claptrap has jumped the neo-communist shark?" Right, this is communism, right? Communism, it focuses on the result being the same at the end. Everybody ends up in the same place. Now, I can agree with the idea that we should all have the same starting position. Unfortunately, that's just not reality. No matter what, it's not reality. If I'm 6'2" and just square jawline, chiseled physique, hey, I can make money modeling. Easy, right? That's easy. You got to be tall. I went to a model search once, and they would just flat out reject people who were too short. Like, girls would go up there, gorgeous 5'2" tall girl. Yeah, you're really pretty, but you're too short. Sorry, that's how it is. So I think with girls, they want them to be at least 5'5", maybe 5'6", and with men, I think it had to be 5'10" or tall. So it's like, all right, well, I mean, that disqualifies me. So I'm not that tall, and that's just an example of how we don't all start from the same point. Now, it would be nice if we could say, okay, well, you're through no fault of your own at a disadvantage, so we give you a little bit more, or we give you enough to be starting from the same point as everybody else. But how do you determine that for every situation? It's one thing to say, okay, we can look at you and you are handicapped. We can see that. We understand that you've been examined by a doctor. You do have a disability. Okay, we'll give you something to allow you to be at the same level as everybody else who isn't. I can understand that. But that's not what she's talking about. She's talking about, just these people are poor. It's no fault of theirs. Maybe it is, though. You don't know. You don't know these people's history, the history of anybody in America. You might know your own, but I don't think you're smart enough to know that, camel toe. But here we are going, hey, look, these people are poor, therefore they deserve more. And we already give them more. There is already opportunities for them to get more. There's already safety nets, social safety nets, plus there's the tax credit, the low-income tax credit. I can't remember what it was, earned EIC, earned income tax credit. I don't remember. I've gotten it a couple times when I wasn't earning very much money. That's actually helped people get out of poverty. It's helped children remain out of poverty and remain healthy, etc. So anyway, let's get back to this article. These are all just things that I'm digressing on. Conservative author John Hawkins mocked Harris and the left, tweeting, "Only liberals could find a way to make hurricanes all about race." They can make anything about race. Real Clear Investigations editor Benjamin Weingarten said the Biden administration is systemically racist. Author Jim Hansen asserted this is a violation of Civil Rights Act. It is. American Greatness senior writer Julie Kelly tweeted about the irony of Harris' statements. This regime is pouring tens of billions into one of the whitest countries on earth, but warning white Americans to get in the back of the line for their own money to recover from a catastrophic hurricane. And watch her malicious facial expression at the end. Yeah, she has that crazy smile. It doesn't look evil. It just looks crazy. I mean, it's literally like an insane person smiles like that, And the whole crowd, of course, clapped and cheered for it. Ridiculous. These people want this in the country. I don't understand how you could possibly want this sort of thing. I was just at the gym today watching Fox. They have Fox on in front of the cardio equipment that I use. And so I was reading the reporters talking about how the Biden-Harris administration are implementing a new equity plan for the entire country. Great, just what we need. We need more equity because, there's people who aren't equal to other people. You're right, there is. So give me what I need then. And what is the level that we need to be at equality-wise? Is it $10 million? Everybody needs to have $10 million in the bank? Or does everybody need to have $1 million? Or is it $100 million? Or is it $500,000? Or is it just $10,000? What is the equity that we need to reach? What is this equal level that we need to come to in this country? I mean, really, tell me what it is. Because, hey, I know women who are self-made millionaires. I know women who are self-made 100,000aires, which is not as much as $1 million, but still, if you got $500,000 in your name, that's a pretty good chunk of change. You aren't starving. And they all say women can't make it. They said it in the little video, oh, and women are most affected too. Oh, yeah, This doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand how it is you can determine who is affected and who isn't, who is most affected and who is least affected, who is 10% affected and who is 80% affected. How do you determine this? Especially when it comes to the hurricane. I mean, we got to send out a bunch of appraisers and figure out how much each individual has lost. There's millions of people living in Florida. How are you going to determine that? But, this is just more examples of why we should not have allowed Biden or Harris anywhere near power and authority. What? I mean, these people are obviously just loons. What the heck? I mean, how can you look at Harris and go, oh, yeah, she's somebody I want to have in power? How can you hear her talk and it's like, okay, so this person has the mind of a child. This is a 58-year-old child. I don't know how old she is, but intellectually speaking, still a child. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Again, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think down below. And I will see you all in the next video.